Speaking of USC, man, Julian Lewis, high-profile quarterback, currently committed to USC. But if you were checking the socials yesterday, you were seeing over on the On3 Recruit social media, you were seeing on the On3 main page social media, both Chad Simmons and Steve Wiltfong, two of the best in the industry that we have here at On3, put in flip picks for Julian Lewis to flip from USC to Colorado. The plot thickens. With signing day less than a month away, things are ramping up. So what does this mean, man? I think for a lot of us, man, we'll talk about Colorado a little bit later in this live show, but there's been, I think, a lot of speculation and thoughts around what Deion Sanders would do past this year. I think it has been very difficult as a college football public to imagine Colorado being successful once Shedeur Sanders leaves, once Travis Hunter leaves. And the question, I think, very fairly has become, well, does that mean Deion Sanders stays? I think if Julian Lewis does, in fact, flip from USC to Colorado, I would have to believe there were conversations there to ensure Julian Lewis that Deion Sanders would be there. So to put it simply, I'd feel great about the potential of Deion Sanders staying at Colorado past this year. I'd feel great about the future of Colorado because you don't go get a quarterback of the future if you're not going to be there for the future. I think probably as importantly what I just said, I don't think you can sell the future without ensuring Julian Lewis that he is going to be there for the future. All right, so you feel better about Deion Sanders staying if you're a college football fan, period, or a Colorado fan. I think it also means that you can really do some damage now at the high school level when it comes to recruitment. Because Colorado early on, what they had to do? Had to flip it, man. And I mean, can you blame Deion Sanders for going portal heavy? That the roster he got was a one-win operation. One win. Translation, we got to get better players. From the jump, we have to get better players. Where are better players that can help us win right now? It's not 18-year-olds. Maybe there's a couple from the high school level that can help us, but we probably got to go get some dudes that have real college football experience that can help us right now. So you go to the portal, you flip it. But if you get a Julian Lewis now, the plan has always been for Deion Sanders, since he got there, was to lean portal heavy early, always utilize the portal, but to maybe shift a percentage of how you acquire that roster to a little more high school. A little more high school players. And so if you get Julian Lewis now, you can make the pitch to wide receivers, to linemen, heck, to defensive guys. Like, hey, this is your quarterback for the future. If you want to be in this class and where this thing is headed, jump in the rocket ship, baby, because this is where this is headed. You have what I like to say is you like to have a lead actor for the movie poster that is your recruiting class. Julian Lewis is on the front of that movie poster if he does in fact flip to Colorado. So I think there's also something to be noted here if Julian Lewis does flip. Julian Lewis, I don't think flips to Colorado. If he does, if Colorado's sitting here right now fighting for bowl eligibility. Say, man, they got 5 wins. If they could find a way to get one of these last 3, that'd be awesome, good year. And it'd be true. It would be a good year for Deion Sanders in Colorado based on what happened last year, winning 4 football games. I said it before the year. If they can get to a bowl, great year. Y'all, they're in contention for the Big 12 title, control their own destiny, and by that logic, they're 4 quarters away from playing for a college football playoff spot. All right? So, back to what I just said. The groundwork that was laid from guys that maybe not took a risk, because I don't think they probably saw it as a risk, but made the decision to get in on the ground floor when Colorado wasn't a team that was competing for conference titles. Guys like a Travis Hunter, guys like a Jordan Seaton. I mean, guys that also, it's worth noting, Big gets there towards the end of the recruiting cycle in their own respective classes. It means that paid off. It paid dividends. Because we said this once Travis Hunter ended up committing to Colorado via the portal. It was one of those situations where we like to see people go first in life before we follow and do something that maybe doesn't have the highest level of certainty to it. Like Travis Hunter has as much to lose as anybody in America when he commits to Jackson State to follow Deion Sanders, when he recommits to Deion Sanders at Colorado. Because Travis Hunter, man, 5-star caliber player, he's going to have a future in the NFL. That is contingent upon, in some way, shape, or form, his development and his exposure in what he does at the college football level, right? So, hey, you're following this coach who's, at that point in time, never really been a college football coach before, and then he goes to the FBS level, and you're like, okay, you could go to Georgia, probably go to Bama, probably go to Miami, go somewhere that you know without a shadow of a doubt you will get developed. There's a track record there. There's a blueprint there to go and get drafted in the first round. What does he do? He decides, no, I'm doubling down. I'm trusting my guy, Coach Prime. I'm going to follow him to Colorado. And so now that Travis Hunter has done that and come out the other side, I mean, I think he should win the Heisman Trophy, first off. Second off, he's probably a lock to be a top 5, if not the first player taken in next year's draft. We'll see how that whole thing shakes out. The bottom line here is it worked. It worked, and you've seen someone with a lot to gain commit to Colorado, have success, follow the blueprint, trust Coach Prime, and have success. So for Julian Lewis now, that blueprint is now there, laid by a Travis Hunter, being carried out by a Jordan Seaton. We'll see what happens to him as he progresses throughout his career. But, I mean, starting as a true freshman on a team that is going to potentially be in the college football playoff, not a bad start to the career. This is, I think, just a testament to everything that's been built at Colorado in a very short period of time and paints the picture for the future of what they're ultimately going to be. Now, if this does happen too, there's always two sides to every flip, so let's get clear on that together. For USC, there's no way to say it's a good thing to ever lose your quarterback in the class that you've had committed for a long time. No way to paint it in a positive light. If you lose Julian Lewis, yeah, that's a loss, straight up. But I would also say there are very few certainties in life, but death, taxes, and Lincoln Riley having a quarterback is probably a fair categories to have as certainties. Like, if it's not Julian Lewis in this class, they're going to get somebody else. And if it's not somebody in this class they're extremely fired up about, they'll go to the transfer portal. And they'll be a positive, or they'll be, I guess, a major attraction for anyone that decides to seek elsewhere to play their college football based on his track record. I mean, Caleb Williams, Heisman. Baker Mayfield, Heisman. Kyler Murray, Heisman. Jalen Hurts, night and day different player, in my estimation at least, since he went to Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma and now is having success in the NFL, making a lot of money. There's going to be a quarterback for Lincoln Riley, if it's Julian Lewis or not. So, again, the picks are in. We'll keep an eye on this. We'll have thoughts for you if, in fact, Julian Lewis does flip from USC to Colorado. But the impact of this in the immediate sense with what it could mean for Colorado on the recruiting trail and what it could mean for them long-term and how good you feel about Coach Prime staying at Colorado, I think there's enough to be excited about if you're a Colorado fan, period. So we'll keep an eye on that one for you.